Good morning, Karen. The floor is yours.
Good morning, George, and everyone. Thank you very much. It's truly an honor to be asked to share today. And I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about, and it's called The Wonder of Belief. So if you can indulge me just one moment, I don't have a PowerPoint, but I do have a little picture I'm going to share, which was a little bit of an inspiration for me. So if you can see this precious little girl, she is Columbo and my first great-granddaughter, and her name is Ezra May, and she just turned a year. So she inspired me. What should I talk about? And looking at her, just reaching out, it looks like there's a little globe she's trying to grab. And she is at the stage where she has great belief in everything. So I'm going to stop to share, and I'm going to get started. And just to watch these little ones, we have 11 grandchildren, now 1 great-grandchildren. Our oldest son and his wife are grandparents. These things don't compute, but we believe, right? So before we start, I do just want to mention something. I got a text from Tracy early this morning, my time, and I don't know if they're on, but they have been put in the severe warning zone now in California for their home. And so I would just ask that we all pray for everyone in California, especially for those that are near and dear to us, Lance and Tracy. I don't know the status with Kim or Samson or anyone that has homes out there, but I would just say, dear Lord God, we ask for protection against these winds and fires for anyone in harm's way. All of our dear friends, protect them, calm the storms, calm the winds, and stop these fires. And I pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you very much for participating. Okay, so today my talk is on the wonder of belief. And I'm going to tell you some words that I used to make this talk. And I want you to be listening to them or for them during my talk. So the wonder of belief, you know, it's something that we choose to do, right? We choose belief. And then what we do is we want to be sure that we're all in positions to try to grow our belief, right? That's what God wants us. He wants us to believe in all things, right? So the words that are in my talk, and you might hear them, you will hear them, would be like childlike faith, energy, words, possibility, attitude, victories, action, encouragement, work, focus, dreams, goals, grit, positive affirmations, visualize, success, excitement, your why, a why that will make you cry, mentors, trust, learning, reading, grateful, giving, and hope. So here we go. So what is belief? So I thought I'd go to the Britannica, which is actually an encyclopedia, and everything in encyclopedias is online now. So what is the definition of belief? Well, it's a mental attitude of acceptance or an assent toward a proposition without the full intellectual knowledge required to guarantee it's true. So belief is the feeling of being certain about something, right? Something that is true or that it exists. I love that childlike faith. We've all seen that. An example would be a young child. And we were just witnessing our great-granddaughter as she was taking her first steps. And she's just a little thing. And sometimes you think, she's too little to be walking, you know? But no. She sees people, right? A young child is learning to walk, and they have seen this. So it's possible. In their mind, it's possible. They don't have any doubt. And they don't know about quitting, right? We learn all that later. So they stand up, they hold on to a chair or a leg or a coffee table, and they're wobbly a little bit. And undoubtedly, they start to try to walk and they fall down. But they don't give up. They're not going to stay down because they saw people, their moms, their grandparents, their siblings walk. So in their mind, okay, I'm supposed to walk. That's what I'm going to do. So they give it another try, and another, and another. And one day soon, that first step. You see, they believed, they saw, and they did it. So you've got this, everyone. There's great energy in belief. It's natural for babies to learn to walk. They don't care what other people think, right? Again, we sort of get that sometimes as we grow and mature, right? So they don't take any excuses. They don't care what other people think. And so I'm just going to encourage you, have that childlike faith. And as we grow, and some of us are more than 1 year old, let's not believe what the naysayers say. Don't let the opinions of others cause us to lose our belief. Maybe it's just a little belief. So we want to grow it so that's strong against any attacks on our belief. So it's always so important to focus on the dream, the goal. Those little ones that get up, they wanted to please their parents as well. So how many of us have watched a little one start to walk and kind of get up and wobble and fall down, but get up again? And when they take that first step or kind of wobbly step, we all cheer, right? It's like a circus. It's like a Broadway show. Yay, yay, yay. And these kids hear that clap and they love that. That's music to their ears. Isn't it encouragement music to all of our ears? So those little ones, it increases their belief. And not long after they crawl and they start to stand up, start to walk, well, pretty soon they're running. They're running, they're jumping, they're dancing. They're on their road already. So we must do the same things. We got to get up, we got to try again and focus on the why and celebrate each of our little victories and our successes, the little ones and the big ones. It's because it helps us to believe more. We have to have focus. We have to have a plan of action, and we have to do it. And when we do it, we're going to get success. Sometimes it's elusive. We didn't just join a business and all of a sudden become whatever it is. It takes time to develop a successful business or a successful anything in our life. We have to invest in ourselves. We have to put time into the venture that we're doing. But it's always there for us. And you will succeed. You will succeed in this as long as you don't quit, right? No, you don't quit. Colombo and I, we were mentored in this business by a couple that Colombo met at the University of Maine. So we were this encounter with our original sponsor back in the way back. We've been involved in this multi-level network marketing for 48 years. 48 years. And so Colombo was at a class at the University of Maine when we lived in Maine, and this young man was also taking a class. And during the break, Colombo and this man, Brian was his name, he would talk. And what did he do? He just asked questions to Colombo about him. So Colombo, at that time, we were expecting our first child. And we were really searching for a way to get me home as a full-time mom. And we were busy, guys. We were busy. And so here's a perfect stranger, and he's listening to Colombo. And after, I don't know, 4 or 5 class breaks, because this was a summer course. It lasted just a couple of, I think maybe 4 weeks. They developed a relationship. And then one day, as he's listening to Colombo, Brian said to him, he says, you know what? I think I might have something for you. It was as simple as that. He just listened to Colombo. He asked Colombo about himself. He got Colombo to share about his why. And it was a why that would make us cry. We had no idea how are we ever going to get me home. Colombo was working around the clock, a student. He had a drywall company. We had apartments we were renovating. And I was head of a respiratory therapy department in a local hospital. I was starting this hospital. I was there from 7 in the morning to 7 at night in the beginning, and it happened to be this year every day, 7 days a week. And then at that time, we didn't even have cell phones. I'd take a little pager home at night, and I'd get called in the middle of the night. And I'd go in and I'd, give a patient a treatment or help get him on a ventilator, and then come home at 2 a.m. and back in at 6. So we were busy. And we were expecting our first child, and Colombo had always told me, yeah, you can come home as a full-time mom. But we couldn't just walk away from our income. What a wonderful gift that was to us to meet this Brian. And he was a great mentor to us. We learned a whole new language, isn't there, in this business? It's a whole new language, CV, PV, rank advanced, cycles, and all these things. We didn't know that. We didn't even know about the words we spoke. I can remember learning a new way to speak positive. They taught us about words. If they asked us questions, are you going to be at the seminar? Maybe I said, well, if I can't, no if. Well, but I've got, no buts. I'm thinking, gosh, they're kind of picky. And I thought they were picking on me. No. They were mentoring us on the power of our spoken words. You see, they would give us books like the book about positive thinking, Norman Vincent Peale's book, The Power of Positive Thinking. They gave us this little book called Hung by the Tongue. And that would tell us that what we say is what we get. And so we don't want to program ourselves because our subconscious hears anything that we speak aloud, right? And so we were not going to speak any diminishing words that could affect us. Now, believe me, it didn't happen overnight. You just sort of learned that along the way. So what I've done since then and over the years, I downloaded a little notepad app and I put it on my phone and I wrote in our positive affirmations, mine, and every day it signals me. It comes up and tells me it's time to say your affirmations. If I haven't, which usually I have done the mornings and the evenings, but it's those during the day ones. So it bing, bing, bing says, time for a positive affirmation. And so I take delight in doing that. And I've been doing that now maybe over a month now, just being consistent to doing it. And my phone helps me. And it's amazing when you speak those positive words like, I am a blessing. We are drawing people to us that want to be a blessing. We are giving hope to people and they are growing. This is the best business in the world. We are spreading hope and we are developing leaders that want to be able to spread hope as well. This is the best place to be. People are joining in droves and all of the positive affirmations. And you know what? When I look back almost daily, even before I said the affirmations in my life, I would see these little victories that the Lord has given us. So we learned lots of things in being mentored. I can remember too, the power of the subconscious, right? Have you ever had this happen to you? Our subconscious picks up what we say, and our subconscious is a problem solver. So when we're sleeping or when we're in a daydream or something, our subconscious is actually going to work on whatever that problem was. Columbo and I will say, who was that person we just saw at the mall, for instance? And we can't think of their name. We can't grab it out. So we just relax in this and that, and we go ahead and we go out to lunch or whatever it is. And then, maybe later that day or maybe the next morning, Columbo will say, Joe Brown. What? Oh, that's who that was. Oh, I remember. So there's power in the spoken word that goes into our subconscious, and there's books to read about that. It's fascinating, fascinating. So beware of what you say. Practice positive, right? And then belief is very important to visualize, right? So back then, we didn't have dream boards like they had. We had pieces of paper. Our sponsors who showed us the plan the very first night, they brought a copied picture on an 8x10, just a sheet of paper, not even a photo, of Dexter and Bertie Yeager. And they were standing in front of a Winnebago motorhome. Now, in my realm of people didn't have motorhomes. If they had wheels on their homes, they were living in a trailer park. But we learned more about dreaming big, right? And so today, you would see these big, beautiful coaches that Dex and Bertie had there, but they were just getting started too. So that was what they were showing us as dream building, right? And here's the people we work with. They're very successful. Now, back then, it still made an impression, but we saw it, the visualization. So we didn't have dream boards back then, but we had a refrigerator. How many here have ever put anything on their refrigerator? And our refrigerators back then would take magnets, right? So we would put pictures of our goals and dreams on our refrigerator with magnets. Our refrigerators today aren't magnetic. I can't put stuff on. So we have dream boards now in a different form where we can see them every day. But the same theory was that we would walk by the refrigerator, depending on how many times you visited the refrigerator every day, and we would see that picture. And one quick story I would take is we remember listening back then to seminars, and we had tapes. I don't know if we had reel to reel, but I know we had cassette tapes. And we would listen to people's story. And this one gentleman was a diamond, and he was talking about his aquatic office. My gosh, what's an aquatic office? Well, he lived in a cold area, and his aquatic office was an outdoor installed hot tub. And we got to thinking about him. He says, after meetings, a lot of times if they're local, we'll come home, we'll jump in our hot tub, and that's where we'll do our dream building. We sit there. I thought, man, that sounds really good. I know Tracy Economy just did a thing a couple of days ago about tax deductions, and I'm thinking back then, aquatic office. I wonder if my accountant would think that's a good deductible. But actually, it was where we spent time dream building. So after a while, we got into position, and some of these frivolous things, I would call them, but they were important. We always paid cash for those things. So we went and we looked at hot tub places and we got a picture, we put it on a refrigerator, and we walked by a refrigerator, walk, and we saw it. And when we were ready, we had the money there. We went into one of these local places. So we said, this is what we're looking for. And so they took us to the showcase. They said, this is what I'm going to recommend that we'll install out on your back deck. And it was the same exact color, the same picture, the same size of the hot tub we'd been looking at all this time from our refrigerator. So they installed that. And then we just had great times. How many, and we lived in the cold. We were up in Northeast. How many times, isn't it fun to be in a hot tub when it's really cold outside? So we'd run across our deck, across the crunchy snow. We'd jump in, it was hot, it was just so good. And then we'd wait for the icicles to begin on your eyelashes, on your hair, and this and that. And then we would just talk. We would have our best buddies there that had the same vision, and we dream about it and what's coming up and the events that are coming and who they just talked to. And somebody who had a dream, they were so excited about this is going to go down into the Southeast perhaps, and this and that. We were dream building and plotting. We were working this. So then I think what we did, what was called like maybe a reverse cold plunge, I called it today, meaning we're going out of the hot into the cold instead of going from the hot into the cold plunge. So what we did was we said, oh boy, it's time to get out. So we would hop out, and initially you're pretty warm, right? But we had to run across that crunchy snow again and run through the sliding door and get inside. But man, we had fun. And that was called dream building. And that was where we bonded with a lot of our team. And that created powerful memories and just a powerful energy for getting dreaming done. And then nothing was going to stop us. You know, we did not know much about the original business. We weren't that sophisticated, but we had a dream and we had grit, and we had other people that were finding, you know what, they wanted more too. And so we bonded together there. Today, we have got so much. It is so refined, the system. I mean, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. We had nothing but in person. We couldn't do Zooms. So we still grew like crazy and had a blast. But today, with what has been streamlined and has made it so much easier, this is such a global business. It's growing so fast. What we had is we didn't have a lot of knowledge about anything in the very beginning, but we had a great big dream, and we were defining it all the time and increasing our belief all the time. So it was kind of like that raw excitement, you know? So I was not a big dreamer in the very beginning, meaning we had goals and everything, but I wasn't a big dreamer about material things. And I can prove that because we were practicing delayed gratification. Our first home we bought was a two-family, upstairs, downstairs. We lived in the upstairs because my husband was a drywall contractor. We were going to renovate it. We were practicing delayed gratification. It had 600 square feet in each apartment. And I don't know how they did this because we had a kitchen, a living room, 3 bedrooms, and a bathroom. I don't know how they did it because our bedroom is much bigger. Just our bedroom and our laundry room over here and my bathroom, that's over 600 feet. I don't know how we did that, but that's where we started, right? So we knew this home was, it wasn't anything to look at. You know how you have shingles on your roof? Well, we had shingles on the sides of this house too. You know, it looked like a whole shingled house, roof and walls and outside walls. And the trim was not even the same trim. It was some white and some green. It was not very pretty to look at. But again, we knew this was delayed gratification. We had 2 vehicles. Colombo had a truck because he was a contractor, right? And it was a Dodge. His family drove Dodges. My family drove Chevys, right? We were just very traditional people. I wasn't a dreamer, but Colombo was a dreamer because his father was a dreamer. His father had a family-owned business, and when he came back from after fighting in the war, that family-owned business had closed. So he knew what it was like to have your own business. And then when he had to get a job, he told Colombo, don't ever work for anybody else. He really instilled in Colombo that big dream. So I'm coming along because I'm still kind of new here. So we had 2 vehicles, and this is what our sponsor saw driving up. They saw this, you know, shingled home, and they saw this blue Dent is what we called affectionately our blue pickup truck. And I was very upscale, right? I had a Super Beetle, right? Now, mind you, at this time, I'm 9 months pregnant. So it's nothing to rave about driving a Beetle bug. It was a super Beetle, mind you, but nonetheless, I still had to scrape the inside of the windshield every morning. And it was hard enough just to get in the car and then have to do something like that to drive. So along the way, as we grew a little bit, the status symbol or the say, listen, when you come to this rank, you're going to get yourself a Cadillac. And I thought, Cadillac? We never drove Cadillacs. Our family never drove Cadillacs. So I'm expanding my mind. But we did dream build. We went to the dealership and we found a beautiful Cadillac, brand new. And we even suggest buying brand new anymore. But we bought a brand new Cadillac, and it had white leather. It had that new car smell. How many know that new car smell? It's great. So we bought it. And at that time we had 2 children and we're driving home. So our oldest is Columbo, our second one is Nick. He was standing behind Columbo while he was driving. And I'm thinking, gosh, I don't remember him being in the car seat. But I do remember on the way home from the dealership, we kept hearing the snap, 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 snap. And I was like, I wonder what that is. I hope the car's okay. So when we got home, we took the boys out of the back seat. Our son Nick on that brand new white leather headrest behind Columbo's head. Nick he was teething, I guess. He just snipped. He had a row of little teeth marks all over the back of that headrest. So I said, well, by that time we weren't too convinced that I'm not going to get mad about that. This is a thing. We're going to use it. We're going to replace it. And so now it's all broken in. That was our attitude. We had kind of gotten a better attitude at the time. But going back a little bit, when we first got started and our sponsor was trying to find the why, we knew the why was to get me home. But one time she asked me, what is your goal? And I said, well, I want money. I want to be able to make money. And they said, well, that's not really the goal. Money's not really the goal. What will that money bring to you? I said, well, the money will be when I have, this was after we had started. I had to go back to work after our first baby. I said, now we're having the second baby, Nick. We have a third son, Jonathan, now. They're all grown, married. That's why we have 11 grandchildren. God is good. So anyway, she said, well, what does the money represent? So with that, I said, okay, it represents getting me home so I can be a full-time mom. And that was achieved when you get it as a personal goal, right? Your goals need to be personal, that will drive you, that you can visualize, that you can touch sometimes, right? And most people have some experience in their life, big ones, little ones, where they have succeeded. And so we have to develop that belief. There's a little bit of a belief there, and it can get bigger and bigger, and it evolves as we continue on our journey and we're focused on achieving more. And don't forget, success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. What happens when we don't come together? It doesn't always come together, right? You're going to hit bumps along the road. And we've hit plenty, but they didn't destroy us. It may have slowed us down, but you know what? Thankfully, we were engulfed in this atmosphere of really big dreamers, go-getters, not going to let that stop us, because what would be the alternative? That means, this is the best thing that has ever come. And our 3 company is the best ever. That's like a Christmas present to us all. If we could develop a brand new, we didn't know what we were going to do, but develop a brand new network marketing company, we could not have had it better because we have people that have gone before us. So even back then, we had encouragement of the people around us. So we did not allow them to stop us. It might have slowed us just momentarily, but we did not allow their words or their actions to slow us down because our dream was bigger than that. So you have to have a big dream to overcome that. I can remember that in the very beginning, we actually started running, and we really excited, and we had a lot of excitement, and we had a lot of growth. And Columbo, in the very beginning, I didn't get started as quick as Columbo did because I just had a baby. And I said, you know what? I was a little bit negative because I wondered why Columbo wasn't home. I'm home. I should be home, right? Watching me watch this baby. Watch me feed the baby or change his diapers and this and that. I couldn't understand. It. But you see, he was driven. We now knew what we had in our hands. This could be the answer. We believed it was. We said, well, what if we do this and it doesn't work? Well, no big deal. But what if we didn't do it and it works? we will regret that the rest of our life because there was nothing else out there we felt that we could do while we worked because we were so busy. So busy. We squeezed this in, and Colombo jumped in immediately. So it took me about a month to get kind of caught up and then meeting more of the people. And then we were off running together. So we had a great launch after we both got on, and we had a lot of people. Again, they didn't know anything, and we were on raw excitement, hair on fire, and just sharing with everybody. And that was what I remember. And I don't know that I even appreciated what it was to create that kind of growth and excitement. A lot of us here, I know, have experienced that. And when it's hot like that and you're hitting kind of momentum, you can't let that go. You just pour more gasoline on it. You really feed it. You put your efforts on, you ramp it up because you're developing leaders, right? We want to be leaders. We invested in ourselves. We brought people in. They saw it, the ones that saw it big. Not everybody sees it big, but we want to help them become leaders because we're not just going to duplicate that with just people. We want to duplicate with leaders. That is what is the beauty and the solidity of this business. You see, Colombo, the first day he saw the plan, the next morning went out and he showed two people, his brother and his best man. And this was 48 years ago, and those businesses are still alive. We have been involved with those businesses and those teams for all of this time. We developed relationships. We caught the belief, we spread the belief, and we wanted people to see the belief. It wasn't just us that achieved. That wasn't the way this business works. This business works, as Zig Ziglar said, is when we can help enough other people get what they want in life. Guess what? It's automatic. We get what we want. It's the most Dex and Bertie, we got to know a long time because they were in the Amway business and very near and dear to us. Bertie Yeager wrote a book, The Secret of Living is Giving. And when we can understand that, you open your heart up to people. People have opened their heart to us, right? When we can give that gift of hope to people, that's where the secret is. So there's a lot of things that are not material or monetarily wise rewards. Some of these rewards are those feel-good rewards, those feelings that I'm helping people. People need help, and we have a gift. We want to be sure that we're giving it. It is truly what God wants for us. We need to be a blessing. We need to create leaders that know what it's like to be able to be a blessing and develop other people so that we can have strong leaders in our businesses. And now we've got 3, which is a wonder in itself. We talk about the wonder of belief today. I'm going to talk about the wonder of 3. It's such a God-inspired company. And we were so close at the beginning. We saw our mentors with Lance and Tracy and Mike in heaven and Linda McCormick. We saw what happened with a chance meeting, not a chance, a God-inspired meeting with Kim Wee and Samson, and how this all came together. I have no doubt that this is God-inspired. And 3 is what we all have. And it's a win-win-win. We have just got the best. Belief will grow, your businesses will grow when we do a lot of those words that I've already shared in this talk. It has to be followed by action. It has to be followed by authentic caring of bringing people into the system. So what we have here, and reading, that's great personal development. We can stand on the shoulders of people that have written books about their successes. We can learn from them. We can develop our sense of belief, sense of great attitude. Our belief grows with that. And with that, I have to say, when your belief grows, you do more, right? Your action increases. So with 3, we really have the best. We have a proven track record. This company is everything we could have ever dreamed of. We have got the amazing management team with Daniel Picou. We've got Dr. Dan Gubler. What can I say about him? The proactive wellness with these supplements is extraordinary. The new Visage line is extraordinary. We have leadership. John Maxwell will say leadership, right? Everything rises and falls with leadership. We could not have better leaders. We have Kim Wee, who in the previous platform that Columba and I witnessed, she, Samson, and a lot of their leaders built over a $10 billion brand in a matter of years. And we're doing it again. She's done it. She's doing it again. Why wouldn't we believe in that? It's not just dependent on our belief. We are surrounded by people of success that had belief, and that instills even more belief in us. We have got the best. We have got a system like this where we can thank George and Adrian and Christina's here and a lot of leaders here that put together these morning masterminds. How wonderful to start the day with some positive influence in our brains, in our day to start. So this is a call to action. Now, what would you have to do? Well, you can do this. We know you can do this. And I know you can do this. And the question really is, will you do it? And if you do it consistently, because you see, you need to have a routine, you need to have a system, you need to have a game plan, and you need to do this consistently as well. So you need, number one, your why, right? We talked about your dream. You have to find out what is it that people want. We need to have enough time with them. Like I just got a text from one gal that was in long ago, and she just told me her status and this and that. And I just said, let's get together. I want to get caught up with her. I want to dust off her dreams that she wants. I want to know about that why that will make you cry. So that has to be personal. So you have to have a why. If you haven't, get one, write it down. Put it on your refrigerator or get a real dream board. Maybe you can do it with a magnet. Number two, what are you willing to do? Right? So people say, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Well, I will listen to your talk, but I'm really going to watch your walk. You must do action. Okay. And then become a student. We're so, some people graduate after high school, for instance, reading, we'll take that. After high school, 95% of people, believe it or not, don't ever read another book. And, we believe in the 95 and the 5%. 5% of the people, they're developing themselves personally. They're writing down their goals. They're focusing. They're putting energy into those goals and their desires, right? And out of that 5%, 95% achieve, right? So reading is so important. Writing things down, having a goal is so important. So become a student. So learn, okay? And then do. Just do. You know what? You're going to do something. It might not be great. I can remember Columbo. We listened to a plan. I think the first plan was like an hour. And the next morning he showed it to two people. And I think his plans were 5 minutes apiece. I don't know what he said. I think he said, hey, I'm going to do this. You want to do it? And they said, are you going to do it? And Columbo said, yeah, I'm going to do it. So guess what? They did it. And it grew. And then we learned what we were doing after that. So learn, do, and then share this gift. What we have is truly a gift, and not everybody knows it. They still don't know it. They may know that we started a business called Three, but they don't know what Three is. We have got to get their attention, invite them in, and keep them in long enough so they catch what we have all caught here, because we have chosen to invest in ourselves and do something with this business. We need them to stay long enough so they know what this is all about, how great it is. Then we need to duplicate. Your business is going to grow. It's not dependent on you. What kind of a business, as we have here with the binary, that duplicates? We have such leverage of not just people, but volume and ways to earn money. It's an amazing, amazing thing we have with Three. So then we want to become a leader ourselves. We need to keep doing those things that leaders do, right? And then we want to develop leaders. And then we have a system. There's 5 activities we do. We make our list. Then we call on this list, invite people to take a look. We show them a plan. Then we follow up with them to find out how are they doing. Can we show somebody? Let's launch your business. And then we onboard them. And then we do that circle again. We used to call it the loop, but it's the five steps in the system that you just go on, duplicate, and your business will grow. So I would just pray that you will be grateful and share this hope, share what we have. And people will know you're authentic. They'll feel your belief, and they'll want to be on your train. They'll want to be on the Three train because it's going someplace, right? We have seen great growth. We absolutely have the very, very best. We are truly grateful for Daniel Pacu and the stories and the God-inspired way this all came to be. Dr. Dan, the mentorship with such leadership as Kim Wee, Samson, our leaders, as I said, Lance and Tracy, Mike and Linda, with George and Adrian here, with Christine, and so many more leaders at all of Three. And in a binary, a lot of times we have leaders that we come across in this and that, and we are one family. When you hear that, you say, oh gosh, how can that be? It can be. Sometimes this family is closer than people's real blood family. So Three is growing fast. The momentum stage that might have been out 18 months is getting closer. So now's the time to build. Remember, Kim has already done this. She has built a multi-billion-dollar brand. We're not just talking about a billion-dollar company. We're talking multi-billion dollars. And we have seen the numbers to prove it. We're reaching globally. We want you to see this big. We want you to increase your belief. And we want you to know that what we have is a gift to share with people: health, health in their spiritual walk, health in their physical walk, health financially, and we wrap it all up in hope. So we believe this and we say, come on and join us. And we pray that they do and stay long enough so that they know what they've got their hands on. So that's it. Thank you for listening. God bless you all. Thank you, George and Adrian, for asking me to share. And we love you all. We love this business, and we love that we're going to have a great future together.
Thank you
Bye-bye
very
now.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great call.
Thank you.